The Roxy Male Quartette will sing for you a song that they too have made famous, and one which is endeared to the hearts of almost everyone, the drum.
I'm a beautiful red drum, and I train with a soldier boy that's up the street we come. Wonderful Illinois, there's Tom and Jim and Bill and Big and Nat and Fred. While we shall cut the bill and I march on ahead with a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. There's much of the fun in that, oh boys with a little red drum. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. There's much of the fun in that, oh boys with a little red drum. De-dum-bum-bum. The engine came last night while the soldiers were in bed, and they got the Chinese tide and off to the woods they fled. The woods of the cherry trees down in the orchard lot, and the soldiers are marching to see the booty the engine got. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. The soldiers marching come into the better scat. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. When soldiers marching come into the better scat, they had better scat. The horses all in play, the skulking in control. There's nothing like kites away, a little white boy like you. But honest or just in fun, it's all the same to me. And when the battle is won, my boy, then home again must we. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. There's glory enough in that, oh boys with a little red drum. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat and a dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. There's glory enough in that, oh boys with a little red drum. With a rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. There's glory enough in that, oh boys with a little red drum.
Now wait a minute, you boys. Come over here. We've got another nice little number there that you can sing for me. That you sing that with what have we got? Something nice, want to think? Well, it's a little bit too heavy. Something a little bit nice and light. You know, one of those nice little melodies. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, chord and A. There you are. That's right. Jerusalem morning.
Talk about Jerusalem morning. Yes, good Lord. Talk about Jerusalem morning. Yes, good Lord. Brothers, I'll be the boy I'm going to shout.
Well, shout on, brother.
This here religion I'm turning me inside out.
Well, what you gonna do about it?
Get your long white robe and your starry crown, and be ready when the great day comes. Good Lord, I'm ready, indeed 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 I'm ready. Well, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes.
Oh, glory,
hallelujah, ready, indeed I'm ready. Well, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes. Didn't the good book said that Cain killed Abel? Yes, good Lord. He beat him on the head with a leg of a table.
He did?
Yes, good Lord. Daniel in the lion's den.
What did he do?
Said unto them colored men.
And what did he say?
Get your long white robe and your starry crown, and be ready when the great day comes. Lord, I'm ready, indeed I'm ready. Well, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes.
Oh, glory, hallelujah.
Ready, indeed I'm ready. Well, good Lord, I'll be ready when the great day comes.
And now, is there any voice or any individual more loved on the air than the little girl that is about to sing for you? Gladys Rice. Gladys Rice, the daughter of John C. Rice and Sally Cohen. And Gladys is going to sing a song that is dear to everyone's heart, too. Good old Victor Herbert Kiss Me Again from Mademoiselle Mosey. And now comes the real big surprise of the evening. It's my privilege to be here tonight in acting as master sermon to introduce to you the hero of my boyhood, and he's still my hero, Thomas A. Edison, who will officially open the Radio World Fair. And tonight, in nature of a surprise party, his two good friends, Mr. Henry Ford, Mr. Harvey Firestone, are with him. And they got up sort of a surprise party. Mr. Edison really didn't know about this. Nevertheless, you will hear them both. In fact, you'll hear all three of them. And then I think they'd better speak for themselves. So it's my great privilege to present to you Mr. Harvey Firestone.
Ladies and gentlemen of the radio audience, when Mrs. Firestone and I were invited to attend a surprise dinner to Mr. Edison, we were delighted to be with Mr. and Mrs. Edison. There is no man in the world who I would go farther to do honor than Mr. Edison, for there is no man in the world that has contributed so much to its progress and for humanity than Thomas A. Edison. My long acquaintance and friendship with Mr. Edison and Mr. Ford has led us into many strange and interesting places and many surprises. But we have had no more jolly surprise parties than our dinner tonight. We were entertained this dinner by Will Rogers. I am glad to say that he did not treat me as roughly as he did on other occasions, particular at the polo dinner at the National Republican Convention in Kansas City. Will, as you know, has the distinction of having the only polo field that has ever been dug out of the side of a mountain. Most polo fields are built. I think his only reason for being easy on me tonight because he had bigger and more distinguished men to kiss. But my great surprise is to find myself here before the microphone to introduce a man who needs no introduction, a man that is better known than any other man in the world, a man who I claim as my crony and camping partner, Mr. Henry Ford. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, no man in the world stands in less need of introduction than Mr. Edison. He is known wherever there is light or transmission of power or mechanically produced sound. He has been an inspiration to two generations of engineers, and he is recognized as the founder and father of the present industrial age. All that we have done has been made possible by his inventions for the use of power. You can readily understand, therefore, that nothing anyone could say could sum up his achievements or enhance his fame. But it is proper to remember on this occasion that radio, like all other industries, is in debt to Mr. Edison's great mind. Over 50 years ago, he discovered the principle of wireless communication, and he invented the carbon telephone transmitter, which is substantially the radio microphone of today. Over 40 years ago, he discovered and applied the Edison effect, which is the foundation principle of the radio tube. And it is just 40 years ago that Mr. Edison first experimented with wireless communication between moving railway trains. What he has been to the radio industry, he has been to all other branches of industry. And there would not be enough days in the year for the celebration of every industry that he has helped should set apart a day to do him honor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our national benefactor and my friend, Mr. Thomas A. Edison.
Friends of the radio, this is Thomas A. Edison speaking. I have been asked to come here tonight to formally open this great fair. Please do not expect a speech from me, as public speaking is entirely out of my line. So I will do what has been expected of me, and now declare that the state at the Radio World's Fair is formally open.
I wish the radio audience could have seen Mr. Edison here. In spite of his years, he was just as chipper as a boy. And when I went over to be introduced to him, he had never seen us. Never. And yet, as I told you, he had been the hero of my boyhood. I have a beautiful picture of him, an etching by a Russian in my library. And I just bent down and shook hands with him, and he yelled out just like a kid, "It's Roxy. I know you by your pictures." And now, a young artist will sing for you that is very well known over the air, and one of the pioneer members of our gang, Doug Stanbury, and he will sing for you that song that I think he sings as well as anyone, "On the Road to Mandalay." Little Nightingale from Lawrence, Kansas, Vietnam Delta, will sing for you her famous rendition of the Carnival de Venice. I come on. And now our tall and statuesque beauty from the wilds of Jamaica, Adelaide is going to sing a little song. What is it, Adelaide?
Nanny Sleepy-headed little boy.
Isn't that nice? Why did you pick that out?
Oh, it's so contralto, right?
So isn't that fine? All right, then Adelaide most contralto-like, will sing. My kinky-headed little boy.
Make
Adelaide there. I think the little rat's living quite asleep. Suppose you sing it once more. Get to sleep now. Thank you very much. And now, my good friends out there, once more it's my privilege to introduce to you the general manager of the Radio World's Fair, Mr. U.J. Herman. It's a slight cold coming from Chicago, but we've done our best here in New York to give him a good square deal. Now, let's see what he's got.
That's the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been introduced as just plain U.J. Herman in a long time. They usually say U.J. Sport Herman. However, pleading guilty to that nickname, I want to say that I don't know any city in the world where the people are quite as good sports as they are here in New York. I wasn't gifted with nothing favored with being gifted with the wit of Mark Twain or Will Rogers, nor have I ever been gifted with the ability to sing as some of our great opera stars can. So I must confine myself to just a few remarks and tell you how much I appreciate being privileged to be here in New York tonight at the opening of our 5th Radio World's Fair. I have been closely associated with the radio industry since its inception, since it became popular with the public. I've watched the growth of it, and when I first got in, visualized the great possibilities that would take place in the course of time. My wildest dreams couldn't begin to realize that which has taken place. And all I want to say to you tonight is that if you could look out upon the faces of this vast multitude of people congregated here in the show, pleased with what they have seen, I want to say to you that you should come down here this week. See the wonderful development that has taken place in the improvement of radio sets, the selectivity that has been brought about, the beauty of the cabinet. Until today, it makes no difference what your standing in life may be or what your furnishings may be. You can find radio sets suitable to fit into any furniture that you may have in your home and not be ashamed of it. Come down here sometime this week. Look the show over. Make your selection. And don't wait to buy until next year for fear there will be some further improvement. Because if you do, while you're waiting, the game will still keep ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to thank you and say goodbye.